Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I'm thrilled to introduce you a very special guest, Cecile Dinh, who is joining us today all the way from United States. Cecile is one of the well-known Microsoft MVP and a seasoned expert in ERP industry with over 25 plus years of experience. For the consistent active contribution to this tech community, Cecil has been nominated 4 times for the GPUG All Star Award and was honored with the Community Superhero Award Product Expert in 2023 by the Dynamics User Group community. So, today we will dive into Cecil's journey into the world of technology, and we will also explore how ERP systems have evolved and will gain some insight into the best practices for successful implementation of the same. But before we dive in, I would like to thank Cecile for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us something about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit. And it's truly an honor to be here today to share my journey. I have a degree in accounting, and in 1997, I worked as an account executive for the first Great Plains reseller in the Philippines.
Okay.
And I enjoyed conducting product demos and being in the field. And then one day, the president instructed me to learn GP. Yeah, it was
Okay.
GP back then. It's Great Plains. And GP to implement it internally. So that marked the beginning of my journey as a GP consultant. I know it's just like, having this knowledge in accounting and then bringing it over to accounting system. So in 2006, I continued my career in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So that's when I went to different clients and I was using a map. There was no Google Maps that time, or there was no app. You have to have a manual map to go around the
Okay.
city. And then that's when I started to be involved in the technical side of Dynamics GP because that time I was forced to do it because nobody else is available. So sometimes it's really nice to have the kind of challenges. And if I say no that time, probably I missed the opportunity. So I'm so happy that I jump in. And yeah, and then I became expert in SQL related to GP. And then I love technical support. I love upgrades. I love everything about, the back and forth of GP. As if I can put it in the box. Even if
Mhm.
you put it upward, sideward, I can still see everything. It's like, wow, I can see everything and I can troubleshoot. So the comfort level is there. And then in 2012, I transitioned from consulting to becoming an internal GP administrator. So before in consulting world, I had like 4 clients a day.
Okay.
And
That's a huge
I
number.
know, right? 4 clients a day. And that time, Zoom was not that popular. I don't think there was Zoom that time. There was no Teams. So you have to go on site and really, be there and support the client. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you're just on the phone trying to support the client because there was no screen sharing. I'm not that old. I'm still young, but I'm still trying to. I still see how our technology help our businesses. As having people supporting you. It's so easy now, right?
Yeah.
So that time when I left my consulting world, my resignation letter says to become pregnant. It's true because I've been traveling and then I said, oh no, I really have to focus to have a baby because,
Yeah.
I'm not getting younger. And then 2 years later, I became pregnant. I said, oh, that this is wonderful. Oh, my baby is so cute. I don't want to go back to consulting yet.
Okay.
That was the reason. And then after that, there's a lot of companies reaching out to me. Hey, Cecilia, why don't you come back? it's so tempting because I love consulting so much and I love the challenges. And I said, no, I don't want to travel yet. I love my baby. I wanted to see how he grows up. I don't want to miss anything. So, uh, I because I love sharing knowledge. I love communities. So that's when I started joining the community. It was in 2018
Okay.
when I joined the community. And then when I joined the community, I was so brave. I said, I want to become a speaker. So not even attendee. I jump in right away to become a speaker. And I had no idea how it works because I said, oh, there will be 10,000 people in the conference. And I said, okay, I'm so glad, that time the programming committee, they give suggestion, hey, you team up with a pro, some
Okay.
veteran speaker, you team up. And that works perfectly because it was my first time. I didn't know what to do. So I partner with this uh, gentleman. He's very popular, and I said, "Okay, you speak so fast. I speak a little slow, but it's okay. We able we able to deliver the message." I prepared the topic. It was about integration, how how we use the integration into GP, and it's so automatic. So I love giving those kinds of, knowledge to people. So that's the beginning of my involvement in the community. And then I was invited to do webinars. And
Okay.
I said, no, I don't know how to do webinars. And then I have not seen that many webinars that time. So I don't have a point of comparison. Now you can see a lot of webinars, a lot of
Correct.
YouTube videos. You can compare yourself how they do it. You just adjust your 40, how you deliver. But that time there was not much of webinars that I can compare myself to. And I said, it's okay. I will just deliver it the way I want it because I learned from there that we have our own unique, expertise. You have
Correct.
your own unique style. You have your own unique way of delivering your knowledge and sharing it. It will come out with your own personality, and that's the beauty of it. And I said, I didn't really realize that everyone has its own ability to share with, keeping people to like you. And I said, all
Yeah.
right. So for those people out there, just keep doing it. Don't worry. Don't compare yourself to others.
Correct.
And, just do your own thing and be happy and be excited sharing your knowledge to the community.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
So
Cecil, we can say that your journey is quite inspiring because being a mother, you are taking care of all those responsibilities, and parallelly, you are also actively contributing for this community. So this is such a really inspiring journey, and we wanted to know more about it. So, like with such a rich career spanning over 25 plus years of experience, how you like, because you have witnessed every changes for the ERP landscape, so what do you think, like how it has evolved since when you started it, and how have you adopted those challenges and changes whenever the technology evolved?
yes, this is very exciting because over the years I've seen, Dynamics GP alone.
Hmm.
I see how it started in version 4.0. 4.0, when people say, oh, Cecile, you're GP 4.0. Okay, I'm 3.5. Okay, 3.5, your background is black. Because
Okay.
so only those veterans can relate. But every ERP evolves and it keeps on upgrading every year. So I've seen how they added more features every year. And then, over the years, I see, oh, this is what's new. So because I started in 4.0, each time there's an upgrade, I only look at what's new, and I say, okay, I'm good. And what's new, you can learn it in probably 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
because it's only what's new. You don't have to go back to the basic. And
Okay.
it's just easier because you build your foundation and then you just keep on learning what has been added. And now in Dynamics GP, there's a lot of good features there. I love GP. And now I love Business Central too. So sometimes at the conference, they will see me, oh, Cecile, you're Dynamics. You're now busy, you're a traitor. So that was before the announcement of Microsoft having the end of life. But in Business Central, I've seen major transformation in just 1 year. It's because of the technology now. Back then, it was not that fast because, we started 1997,
Yeah.
2000. It's not that fast. But now, because of the new technology, amazing. It's so fast. You will need more time to catch up. It's not just
Correct.
3 pages. So there's a lot.
Right.
And yeah, there's a lot of products of Microsoft that is now being connected. Like, for example, uh, there's a Power BI reports that is default in Business Central. And I said,
Okay.
wow, as a consultant, if I'm thinking, because I'm an end user, but if I'm thinking about a consultant and I say, wow, it's out of the box, then it will save me time doing all this modification of the reports.
Correct.
And, because there's a lot of Microsoft products, then it's so easy to integrate between Power Platform, Power Apps, or Power Automate. Copilot, there's a lot of potential out there. And sometimes I feel overwhelmed because I said, I need to catch up too. So there's no dull moments for me. So I keep on, I stay relevant. I continue learning. Even when I'm cooking, oh my goodness, I put my headset just to catch up. And I think I need to have a big screen in my kitchen just to just to catch up with my, learning. So because whenever I do cooking or something in the kitchen, I have my laptop there and my headset.
Okay.
And it's just a lot of, learning. And I really encourage your audience here. Hello, just keep on learning. There's a lot out there in YouTube, in our Microsoft Learn. There's a lot of things to learn. Sometimes I see the 5 minutes or 5 or 10 minutes video on YouTube, and I say, oh, I pick up one thing in there. Oh, that's really nice. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is one of the best advice anyone can follow. That first thing, like you should manage your time as you are doing, Cecil, because while cooking, you are also learning. So that is also a good example of time management. And if we are consistent and like consistently we are learning something, and every day if we are learning something new, then for sure like it would be easier for us to achieve our target. Doesn't matter which technology you are working upon, but yeah, you can easily adopt the technology in a much lesser time as compared to doing it for the occasionally. It's better always to go in a consistent
Yeah.
manner. Okay.
Yeah.
And one more thing here I want to ask you regarding the ERP itself, because we all know that that shift to the cloud has been a game changer for the ERP space also. So how do you see the role of dynamic GP evolving with the rise of cloud-based solution like Business Central? How it has changed?
Um, um, as a cloud-based solution like Business Central, it continued to gain momentum,
Yeah.
especially when we hear this end of life of Dynamics GP. So the role of Dynamics GP is shifting.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard a lot of comments out there that they're having a hard time transitioning from Dynamics GP to Business Central, and I can relate. It's because I went through there 3 years ago. I was in the same boat. Like,
Okay.
I'm a pro, and then I'm back to the basic where I have to learn another ERP. So I think the key here is just keep on going
Yes,
and be open-minded, learn it, love it, and because sometimes we limit ourselves and our enemy is ourself.
correct,
So
agree.
yeah, so I think when I break that barrier, I said, I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna learn it, I'm gonna love it. I think when I say I'm gonna love it, then I start loving it.
Correct.
So, yeah. So, well, many organizations still depend on GP, and we have plenty of time to, work on it because even if it's 7 years, 8 years, but I think it's better to start considering now. Look around, hear what others doing. Partners, there are a lot of good partners, Microsoft partners. They give a good free demo or free evaluation. I think get that opportunity. Uh, for me, I just love Business Central. Coming from
Mhm.
Dynamics GP, I just love Business Central. I I I just I feel amazed on Business Central because, for example, just last weekend, it was yesterday, just yesterday, I did my year-end closing in Dynamics GP,
Okay.
and because I know now Business Central, I said, oh, I have 10 different steps in Dynamics GP, and this one is only 3 steps
Okay. Yeah.
in Business Central. So I was like, oh, way easier. So yeah, so well, yeah, my goal is to help our community to have an easy transition from Dynamics GP to D365 Business Central through my webinars and blogs.
Okay, and Cecil, like you have had an hands-on experience implementing in Microsoft Dynamics GP across various organizations, and even you have played a vital role as an intern with the Business Central also. So, what do you think? Like, what are the common challenges businesses face when they are adopting these kind of system? So, what do you think? Like, what are the common scenarios that
Mhm.
organization may encounter?
Yes. So implementing ERP solution comes with its challenges.
Mm-hmm.
There's no perfect ERP, and sometimes we set so ideal. Oh, this is so perfect. I suggest, give room, give room for some unexpected, reality. So every ERP has its own challenges. So business often struggle with data migration, system configuration, and user adoption. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest lesson I've learned is that success lies in meticulous planning and stakeholder involvement. Because, it's not just about deploying the software, it's about transforming business processes and
Mm-hmm.
ensuring that employees feel confident using the system. Again, if there's a resistance from the end user, it's really hard because it will end up like, oh, this is not good. This is not, yeah, it keeps on complaining. But
Yeah.
if if they start to have an open-minded, like they will say, oh, I love it. I will learn it, then the momentum goes in.
Okay, and whenever there is a phase of transition, because we all know that data migration and system configuration are often cited as a major pain points when we are moving
Mhm.
from one system to another. So, what are those best practices do you recommend to ensure a smooth transition whenever there is a such type of scenario?
Yeah. To ensure a smooth process, I recommend first conduct a thorough data audit. So identify what data is
Mm-hmm.
critical and cleanse outdated or duplicate information because during the migration, it's like you have your data and sometimes it's not audited. So what you
Okay.
bring in into the new system, it's uh, what comes in, what's come out. So,
Yeah.
so make sure that you conduct a very thorough data, especially when you have this beginning balance. And sometimes, oh, you will say, oh, I didn't really review the balances. Can we do
Mm-hmm.
adjustment? The adjustment happen after you migrate and then do all this adjustment. That's a lot of work. So I suggest, spend time in, you know, reviewing the data before bringing it over. And then the
Okay.
mapping of data accuracy. Um, for example, you ensure the consistency between the legacy system to the new platform. There's
Mm-hmm.
chart of accounts in Dynamics GP, for example, and
Okay.
or QuickBooks or whatever system you're migrating to ERP. I'll just use Business Central. Always
Mm-hmm.
use this mapping where the first column is your current, the legacy or your accounts in Dynamics GP. And then this
Okay.
is your new chart of accounts in the new ERP. It is easier to map the information because you will go back and I've seen, let's say QuickBooks or other system or other ERP,
Mm-hmm.
they renumber their chart of accounts before moving to Business Central or another ERP. So it's
Okay.
really nice to kind of go back and review, oh, this is how I map it. Same way with customers or vendors or any other number that you use in your current system, and then you map it to the new system. Make sure that there's a mapping data accurately, and
Okay.
then testing before go live. Yeah, run simulation, do potential, um, I would say real test scenarios, test everything. And then, providing ongoing training, equip users with skills. And so they will feel like, oh, I'm confident in using this new system.
Okay, so we can say that mapping is something that makes it like you should take give a proper attention to the mapping because that is going to affect many things. So if you have mapped it properly, then it would be a smooth transitions.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Cecil, like we all know that your expertise in project management and system implementation is also one of your core concept or core expertise. So, I just want to know, like, what are the key factors you focus on to ensure that yes, this is a successful implementation from starting to end? Because everything we start from a scratch. So, from that position to the end, like how you measure the factors, like what are those key steps that you are following?
Okay, so I'll just talk high level. So
Okay.
clear objectives and scope. Clear objectives, why you want to move over to cloud ERP. What
Correct.
are the issues that you're facing? What are the bottlenecks? What's the scope? And if you miss defining the scope, why? And then later on you will miss, oh, okay, well, I forgot about it. That's why it's so critical to put in the scope what
Mm-hmm.
are the priorities and wish list.
Okay.
Because sometimes you start with a wish list. Oh, I wish there's a button that will do everything that I do. So sometimes we forget the critical, because the critical ones are not easy to modify
Mm-hmm.
because there are dependencies. So focus on that in the scope and put the numbering. Like, for example, these are the task list that you want to do in the new ERP system. You put one, two, one is high priority, and then two medium, and then three is low priority. It's just a wish list. That will help you guide because you're seeing the scope in Excel. You can make yourself a detail as possible. That would be nice. And then, strong leadership and collaboration, engaging the end users. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we only involve the high level, and the end users will play the major role because they're the one who's using the system.
Hmm.
So if they are involved, in the beginning, they will feel like, oh, I'm important. I have a participation in this project, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, training very important because that's where you will find a comfort level for the end users. Keep asking, like, evaluate continuously. Are you confident? Is there anything that I can help you? What's the comfort level? So I love screenshots. Whenever I do training, I love screenshots, especially there's a migration. This is how you do in GP. This is how you do in Business Central. It's a
Okay.
side-by-side screen, and this is how to click one, two, three, and then you go there.
Okay.
Because sometimes during the training, because you're around, they feel confident. But if
Correct.
they're alone, they will say, I don't know how to do this, and that will cause delay.
Correct. Right.
So yeah, so I think having that a factor involved, make sure that there's a comfort level for the end users. Even if you're no longer around, they will say, "Oh, this is your documentation." So very important.
Okay, so we can conclude in a way that yes, requirement gathering is important because firstly, you should know what you are going to design and what you are going to implement. Then training is important. And comparison
Yeah.
should be there that can be implemented with documentation. So if proper documentation
Yeah.
is there, then it would be much easier to manage all the thing even in your absence. So these are some good
Mhm.
tips. Okay,
Yes.
all right, and we all know that you have a deep understanding of business life cycles across finance, purchasing, sales, inventory, and cash management. So, how do you approach aligning Dynamics GP or Business Central with these kind of different processes?
Okay, so I think having a deep understanding of the business cycle is really good. So you don't throw your knowledge in Dynamics GP. You know the cycle. You just adopt that in Business Central and
Mm-hmm.
make some adjustment because when you align this in the cloud ERP, it's much easier. For example,
Mm-hmm.
you have this third-party product in Dynamics GP that captures it's like audit logs. Who changed the bank account? Who
Okay.
changed something? So you're paying that in Dynamics GP as a third party product. Then in Business Central, it's free. So there are products in Business Central that is gonna be so useful, and you will save a lot of money if you just make that alignment. And there are, approach that will change, like the workflow. For example, you have this different approach in GP where there's a vendor onboarding.
Mm-hmm.
How does that go? Because when you have the vendor onboarding, you have this vendor ID, vendor name, there's a like a EIN or the TIN, whatever is the IRS or the tax information
Okay.
in there, and then the bank info. Everything is, let's say it's manual. Let's say everything is on paper here. Then in Business Central, there's Power Apps, there's Power Automate, and then you align that in this ERP in the cloud, saying, okay, I can do that much easier here in ERP in the cloud. So
Okay.
I think understanding the workflow from this current system that you have or Dynamics GP, understand the workflow, where the document goes, and then identify the bottlenecks and then
Mm-hmm.
configure that in the new ERP. So, yeah,
Okay.
it will enhance the efficiency.
For sure. Like if we take care of all these things, then for sure, like it will enhance the productivity as well. All right.
Yeah.
So now, like, although there are many things that we can discuss here in this podcast regarding ERP, but just because of
Yeah.
the limited time, I would like to ask my last two questions. And firstly, I would
Mm.
like to know, like, looking back on your career, who were those incredible person or person who guided you, inspired you in your journey?
First, yeah, reflecting on my career. I'm deeply grateful to my husband because sometimes I'm so busy and he will take care of my son. He will take
Yeah.
care of, pick him up, go to the basketball and all this. Because I think if, like for example, there are couples out there, and you wanted to advance your career and there's a limited time. So I think your partner, your husband will support you. And
Correct.
then I always so thankful with Lisa Lucas. She's the one who always with me during the webinar back in the days in 2018. She has no idea how thankful I am with her.
Okay.
She's always saying to me, Cecile, you're doing good. Sometimes you don't criticize yourself too much. So I think sometimes we are the best critic of ourselves. But that
Yes.
time, Lisa was like, Cecile, you're doing great. And whenever I hear that, I keep on going. And then Molly, Fochelle, and yeah, I've been with her since 2018 until now because of our Dynamics user group. So I'm also thankful for my dog family, and Drisel Fablo nominated me to MVP, so I'm always grateful for that. And my MVP family, sometimes uh, I'm seeing their vlogs like you. I see all those videos that you did. I said, oh, I have to do something like that. So it encouraged me, to continuous learning and persevere and giving back to the community. So one of the most valuable lesson I've learned is, that success is not just about expertise. It's about how we use our knowledge to uplift others and share our knowledge to the community. And
Correct.
it's inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. This is something that makes us apart from others. Like if you know how to share your knowledge, then this is one of the best thing that
Yeah.
you can do for a community. So
Yeah.
fine. All right. So now, my last question, which is regarding all those recognition that is provided. That is, like you have been nominated for various prestigious title like GPEG All Star Award and Microsoft MVP Award. So, just for the audience, could you please tell like how these prestigious title has impacted your journey and how things got changed once you are awarded with these titles?
Well, I think you can relate to it so much because, having an MVP award is it's so special. Like,
Yes.
wow. And there's expectation that goes with it. So, so I keep on learning just to make sure that I'm updated. So because I feel like if I will stop learning, I will be left behind. So, and having that, because I started it already, I have to keep on going.
Correct.
Yeah.
So fine. All right. So thank you so much, Cecile, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing so much information regarding the ERP process. I'm pretty much sure that these things will resonate with many of our listeners. So thank you once again for being a part of the show, and I hope you also enjoyed the discussion.
Yes. Thank you, Amit, so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.